change your life this year. Good evening, my friends. Today I want to share something that could transform your life, not next year, not someday, but starting right here, right now, this year. And no, I'm not talking about winning the lottery or waiting for luck to knock on your door. I'm talking about the choices you make, the mindset you adopt, and the faith you hold on to. Change doesn't come from wishing, it comes from action. It comes from courage. It comes from believing that you're worthy of something greater than where you've been taught. The story you tell yourself is the foundation of your life. It shapes how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you respond to challenges. Often we don't even realize we're telling ourselves a story because it's so deeply ingrained in our thoughts. It's the voice that says, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or this is just the way things are. These narratives can quietly dictate our actions or lack thereof and keep us trapped in cycles of doubt, fear, and inaction. What you might not realize is that these stories are not set in stone. They are not the absolute truth. They are simply perspectives you've adopted, and the good news is that they can be rewritten. Think about it for a moment. What are the things you tell yourself daily? Are they empowering or are they disempowering? If you constantly say, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have the skills, or I've already failed too many times, then those words become the lens through which you see every opportunity. A chance to grow will seem like a risk to fail. A challenge will feel like a confirmation of your inadequacy. The story becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because it's true, but because you believe it's true. But here's the thing. The human mind is incredibly powerful. If you can believe a story that holds you back, you can just as easily believe a story that pushes you forward. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the possibilities rather than the limitations. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, you can say, I'm learning to get better. Instead of saying, I'll never have what it takes, you can say, I'm working on becoming who I need to be. These subtle shifts in language have an incredible impact. They don't just change your mindset, they change your actions. And actions are what create results. Rewriting your narrative doesn't mean the challenges disappear. It doesn't mean you won't face setbacks or struggles. What it does mean is that you approach them with a different perspective. A story that says, I can't do this, makes you stop at the first sign of difficulty. A story that says, I'm capable of figuring this out, gives you the courage to keep going. It's not about erasing obstacles, but about seeing yourself as someone who can overcome them. Sometimes the stories we tell ourselves come from outside influences. Maybe someone in your life once told you that you weren't smart enough, strong enough, or capable enough. Maybe society told you that success looks a certain way, and if you don't fit that mold, you're not worthy. These external voices often find their way into our internal dialogue, but you don't have to let them define you. You are not bound by what others think or say. You have the power to choose what you believe about yourself. Choosing to rewrite your story is not an easy process. It requires awareness, effort, and persistence. You have to catch yourself in the moment when negative narratives start to creep in. You have to challenge those thoughts and replace them with something more empowering. It might feel unnatural at first, like trying to write with your non-dominant hand. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, those new narratives start to feel like second nature, and they lead you to take actions you might never have taken before. When you change your story, you change your possibilities. Suddenly, doors that once seemed closed begin to open. You see opportunities where before there were only barriers. You approach life with a sense of curiosity and determination, rather than fear and resignation. You begin to realize that the limitations you thought were there were often just illusions, created by the old story you told yourself. Taking small steps is one of the most powerful strategies for creating meaningful and lasting change. Too often, people are overwhelmed by the idea of transformation because they focus on the entire mountain they need to climb instead of just the first step. The thought of completely overhauling their lives feels daunting, so they don't start at all. They get stuck in a cycle of inaction, waiting for the perfect moment or a sudden surge of motivation. But the truth is, progress doesn't require massive leaps or dramatic changes all at once. It requires small, consistent actions taken one day at a time. The beauty of starting small is that it's manageable. No matter where you are in life, no matter how big the goal or how challenging the circumstances, there's always a small step you can take. It could be as simple as making a single phone call, setting aside 10 minutes for self-reflection, or committing to one new habit. These actions might seem insignificant in the moment, but they are the foundation of momentum. When you take a small step, you prove to yourself that change is possible. That proof builds confidence, and that confidence fuels the next step. There's a common misconception that progress has to be fast to be effective, but that's not true. The most enduring changes happen gradually. Consider how nature works. Mountains are formed over millennia, trees grow inch by inch, and rivers carve through rock one drop at a time. The same principle applies to your growth. Small steps may not seem impressive in the short term, but over time they add up to extraordinary results. Each step builds on the last, and before you know it, you've covered a distance you never thought possible. One of the biggest advantages of focusing on small steps is that it helps you overcome the fear of failure. When the stakes feel too high or the goal seems too far away, it's easy to talk yourself out of trying. But when the step is small and achievable, the fear diminishes. It feels less risky, more manageable. Instead of worrying about whether you'll succeed in the long run, you can focus on succeeding in the moment. And with each small victory, your confidence grows, making it easier to take the next step. Small steps also allow you to learn and adapt as you go. When you try to make a massive change all at once, it's easy to overlook the nuances and lessons that come with experience. But when you move forward gradually, you have the opportunity to reflect on what's working and what isn't. You can adjust your approach, refine your methods, and discover new strategies that suit you better. This process of learning and adapting is essential for sustainable growth. Another important aspect of taking small steps is that it keeps you consistent. Consistency is far more important than intensity when it comes to creating lasting change. Doing something small every day is much more effective than doing something big once in a while. Consistency creates habits, and habits shape your identity. When you consistently take small steps toward your goals, you begin to see yourself as someone who takes action, someone who is committed to growth, someone who doesn't give up. It's also important to remember that small steps don't always mean doing less. Sometimes they mean doing what you can with what you have. Life can be unpredictable, and there will be days when you feel tired, unmotivated, or stretched thin. On those days, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. But if you focus on just one small step, you can still make progress, even when things aren't ideal. That step might not seem like much, but it's a declaration that you're not giving up. It's a reminder that forward is forward, no matter how slow. Each step you take reinforces a sense of purpose. You're not waiting for someone else to change your circumstances or for a perfect moment to arrive. You're creating the momentum yourself. Small steps give you control, and with control comes empowerment. The act of moving forward, no matter how small the movement, keeps you engaged in the process of growth. This engagement builds resilience, teaching you that even when life feels overwhelming, you always have the power to take one more step. Letting go of fear and excuses is a crucial step in creating the life you want. Fear has a way of keeping you stuck, convincing you that moving forward is too risky or too difficult. It whispers all the reasons why you can't, why you shouldn't, or why it won't work out. But fear isn't reality, it's a perception. It's often a story your mind creates to protect you from discomfort or the unknown. The challenge is recognizing when fear is holding you back and choosing to act in spite of it. Excuses, on the other hand, are the rationalizations we give ourselves to justify staying where we are. They sound convincing because they're often rooted in truth, but they don't serve your growth. You might tell yourself, I don't have enough time, I'm too busy, or I'll start when I feel more ready. These excuses provide a sense of comfort because they take the pressure off, but they also rob you of the opportunity to move forward. Excuses make you feel safe, but they also keep you small. One of the first steps to letting go of fear and excuses is identifying them for what they are. Fear often disguises itself as practicality. It tells you that you're being responsible by avoiding risks or waiting for better circumstances. Excuses often masquerade as legitimate reasons. They tell you that you're too tired, too busy, or too inexperienced. But when you take a closer look, you'll see that fear and excuses are barriers you've built in your own mind. They are not insurmountable obstacles, they are choices. Once you've identified your fears and excuses, the next step is challenging them. Ask yourself, is this true? For example, if you're afraid you'll fail, ask yourself what failure really means. Is it the end of the road, or is it simply a lesson on the way to success? If you tell yourself you don't have time, look at how you're spending your days. Are there small pockets of time you could dedicate to your goals? When you challenge your fears and excuses, you'll often find that they are not as solid as they seemed. They start to lose their power over you. It's also important to understand that fear and excuses are normal. Everyone experiences them at some point. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to take action despite it. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else is more important than that fear. It's saying, yes, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Letting go of excuses requires a level of accountability. It means taking responsibility for your life and your choices. It's easy to blame external factors for why you haven't achieved what you want. But that blame keeps you powerless. When you take ownership of your circumstances, you reclaim your power. You realize that while you may not control everything, you do control your responses, your actions, and your attitude. Another way to overcome fear and excuses is to focus on your why. Why do you want to make a change? Why does this goal matter to you? When your why is strong enough, it gives you the motivation to push through the discomfort. It reminds you that the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of trying and possibly failing. Your why becomes your anchor, something you can hold on to when fear and doubt start to creep in. Taking small, deliberate actions can also help you overcome fear and excuses. When you break a goal into smaller steps, it feels less overwhelming. Each small success builds confidence and chips away at the fear. Over time, the excuses that once seemed valid begin to feel hollow because you've proven to yourself that progress is possible. Fear and excuses thrive in the absence of action. When you stay still, they grow louder, convincing you that moving forward isn't worth the risk. But the moment you take action, even a small one, you disrupt their hold on you. You start to build evidence that you can handle the discomfort, the uncertainty, and even the setbacks. This evidence becomes the foundation of your belief in yourself. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can also make a difference. When you're trying to let go of fear and excuses, it helps to have others who believe in you, encourage you, and hold you accountable. They can provide a perspective you might not see for yourself and remind you of your potential when doubt sets in. The right support system can be a powerful tool in helping you move forward. Focusing on gratitude and possibilities has the power to completely shift your perspective and transform the way you approach life. It's easy to fall into the trap of dwelling on what's missing or what's wrong. The mind tends to zero in on problems, disappointments, and setbacks, magnifying them until they feel overwhelming. This focus on lack creates a sense of scarcity where nothing ever feels like enough. And you're constantly chasing after something you think will finally make you happy. But the truth is, happiness and fulfillment don't come from having more or fixing every problem. They come from shifting your focus to what you already have and what could be possible. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to change your mindset. It's a deliberate choice to notice and appreciate the good in your life, no matter how small. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to look for what's right instead of what's wrong. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding the blessings even in the midst of difficulties. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it gives you the strength to face it with a sense of hope and resilience. It reminds you that even on your hardest days, there is still something to be thankful for. One of the benefits of gratitude is that it shifts your energy. When you focus on what's missing, you often feel frustrated, discouraged, or stuck. But when you focus on what you have, you feel empowered and abundant. This shift in energy creates a ripple effect. Gratitude opens your heart and mind, making it easier to see opportunities and possibilities. Instead of being consumed by what's lacking, you start to notice what's available to you. This perspective fuels creativity, problem solving, and a sense of possibility. Possibilities are everywhere, but they're often overlooked because we're too focused on limitations. When you constantly tell yourself that something isn't possible, your mind closes off to potential solutions and opportunities. But when you focus on possibilities, you open yourself up to new ideas, paths, and perspectives. Possibility thinking isn't about being naive or overly optimistic. It's about being willing to ask, what if? It's about being open to the idea that things could be different, that change is possible, and that you have the power to make it happen. Gratitude and possibility thinking go hand in hand. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment, reminding you of all the good that already exists in your life. Possibility thinking propels you into the future, showing you what could be. Together, they create a sense of balance where you can appreciate where you are while striving for something greater. This combination keeps you motivated without feeling overwhelmed, and it helps you stay focused on the opportunities in front of you instead of the obstacles. Practicing gratitude and embracing possibilities requires intentionality. It's not something that happens automatically, especially if you've spent years focusing on problems or limitations. It's a habit that you build over time. One way to start is by keeping a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. They don't have to be big or profound, simple things like a kind word from a friend, a moment of laughter, or even the feeling of sunshine on your skin can make a difference. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of your life. Another way to cultivate gratitude is by expressing it to others. When you take the time to acknowledge and thank the people who have made a difference in your life, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also deepen your own sense of appreciation. Gratitude is contagious. It has the power to inspire others to see the good in their own lives, creating a ripple effect of positivity. When it comes to focusing on possessing ilps, it helps to ask yourself empowering questions. Instead of asking, why can't I do this? Or what's wrong with me? Ask, what's one thing I can do to move forward? Or what resources or support can I tap into? These questions shift your focus from problems to solutions, helping you see the opportunities that are already around you. Possibility thinking isn't about having all the answers, it's about being willing to look for them and take the next step, even if it's uncertain. Surrounding yourself with positive influences also plays a big role. When you're around people who focus on gratitude and possibilities, their mindset begins to rub off on you. They challenge you to see beyond your current circumstances and encourage you to aim higher. At the same time, their example reminds you that it's possible to face challenges with grace and optimism. Your environment matters, and choosing to be around those who uplift and inspire you can make a significant difference in your outlook. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. The comfort zone is a place of familiarity and security where routines and habits keep everything predictable. It feels safe because it minimizes risk and uncertainty, but it also limits growth and potential. When you stay in your comfort zone, you avoid challenges and discomfort, but you also miss out on opportunities to learn, evolve, and achieve something greater. True growth begins when you step outside that boundary and embrace the unknown. Stepping out of your comfort zone can be intimidating because it requires facing uncertainty and the possibility of failure. It's human nature to avoid discomfort and seek what feels safe, but growth requires a willingness to take risks. The moments when you feel stretched, challenged, and even a little afraid are the moments that shape you. They teach you resilience, adaptability, and problem solving. They force you to confront your fears and prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. The fear of failure often keeps people rooted in their comfort zones. It's easy to think, what if I try and it doesn't work out? But failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the journey to success. Every setback and misstep is an opportunity to learn and grow. When you avoid stepping out of your comfort zone because you're afraid to fail, you also avoid the lessons and experiences that come with trying. Growth is messy and imperfect, but it's also transformative. Each time you push yourself beyond what feels easy or comfortable, you expand your abilities and gain confidence in what you can achieve. Stepping into discomfort also helps you discover strengths and talents you didn't know you had. When you only do what you're already good at, you limit your potential. But when you try something new or tackle a challenge, you uncover hidden abilities and develop new skills. You might surprise yourself with what you're capable of when you push your boundaries. The process of stepping outside your comfort zone builds resilience and mental toughness, equipping you to handle future challenges with greater confidence. Another benefit of leaving your comfort zone is that it broadens your perspective. When you stay in the same routines and environments, it's easy to develop tunnel vision. You see the world through a narrow lens shaped by your current experiences and beliefs. But when you step out of that bubble, you expose yourself to new ideas, people, and ways of thinking. This expanded perspective not only enriches your understanding of the world, but also helps you approach problems and opportunities in more creative and effective ways. Pushing your limits doesn't mean you have to take enormous leaps or make drastic changes all at once. Growth happens through small, consistent steps outside your comfort zone. It could be as simple as having a difficult conversation, trying a new hobby, or speaking up in a meeting. Each small step builds momentum and makes the next step feel a little less daunting. Over time, the boundaries of your comfort zone expand, and what once felt uncomfortable becomes second nature. One of the keys to embracing discomfort is shifting your mindset about it. Instead of seeing discomfort as something to avoid, see it as a sign that you're growing. Discomfort means you're doing something new, something that challenges you. It's a signal that you're stretching your capabilities and moving closer to your potential. When you reframe discomfort as a positive, it becomes easier to lean into it instead of resisting it. Support from others can also make stepping outside your comfort zone less overwhelming. Surround yourself with people who encourage and inspire you to grow. Their belief in you can help you take the leap when self-doubt creeps in. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a community, having a support system reminds you that you're not alone in your journey. They can provide guidance, share their own experiences, and cheer you on as you take steps into the unknown. Building a habit of stepping out of your comfort zone creates a ripple effect in your life. The confidence and skills you gain in one area often spill over into others. Each time you face a challenge and overcome it, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. This belief in yourself becomes a foundation for future growth and success. The more you practice stepping into discomfort, the less intimidating it becomes. And the more you realize that the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. Helping others and sharing your journey is one of the most fulfilling and impactful ways to create a meaningful life. When you take the time to support someone else, you not only make a difference in their life, but also deepen your own sense of purpose. It's easy to get caught up in your own challenges, focusing solely on what you're trying to achieve or overcome. But when you shift your focus to others, something remarkable happens. You begin to see your struggles and triumphs in a new light, and you realize that your journey has value not just for you, but for those around you. Helping others doesn't always mean making grand gestures or solving their problems for them. Sometimes the most powerful way to help is by simply being there, offering encouragement, or sharing your experiences. When you're open about your own journey, your struggles, lessons, and victories, you create a space for connection. People can see themselves in your story, and it gives them hope that they, too, can overcome their challenges. Your willingness to be vulnerable and authentic inspires others to face their fears and take steps toward their own growth. Sharing your journey also reinforces the lessons you've learned. When you reflect on your experiences to help someone else, you gain a deeper understanding of what you've been through and how far you've come. It's a reminder that your pain, mistakes, and setbacks were not in vain. They shaped you into the person you are today. This perspective gives meaning to your struggles and turns them into something valuable. Your story becomes a source of strength, not just for you, but for anyone who hears it. Helping others can also bring a sense of clarity and perspective to your own challenges. When you're focused on supporting someone else, It shifts your attention away from your worries and fears. You begin to see that while your struggles are real, they are not insurmountable. This shift in focus helps you gain a sense of gratitude and appreciation for what you've already achieved. It reminds you that no matter where you are in your journey, you have something to offer. You don't have to be perfect or have all the answers to make a difference in someone's life. One of the most powerful aspects of helping others is the ripple effect it creates. When you extend kindness, encouragement, or guidance to someone, it inspires them to do the same for others. Your actions create a chain reaction that can touch countless lives, often in ways you'll never fully see or know. This ripple effect amplifies the impact of your efforts, turning even small acts of kindness into something far-reaching and profound. Helping others also fosters a sense of community and connection. It reminds you that you're not alone in your journey and that everyone is navigating their own challenges. This shared experience of growth and support creates bonds that are deeply meaningful. When you give your time, energy, or wisdom to someone else, it strengthens the sense of unity and compassion that holds people together. It builds a network of support where everyone benefits, and it reinforces the idea that success is not a solitary pursuit. It's something we achieve together. Sometimes helping others can reignite your own motivation and passion. When you see the positive impact of your actions, it reminds you of why you started your journey in the first place. It fuels your determination to keep going, not just for yourself, but for the people who are looking up to you. Knowing that your journey can inspire and uplift others gives you a sense of responsibility to continue growing and striving for more. The act of helping others also teaches humility and empathy. It reminds you that everyone is dealing with challenges, even if they're not always visible. This awareness deepens your understanding of what it means to be human and encourages you to approach others with kindness and compassion. It's a reminder that we all need support at times, and offering that support is one of the most powerful ways to create a better world. When you share your journey and help others, you create a legacy that goes beyond your individual achievements. The lessons you've learned, the encouragement you've offered, and the kindness you've shown become part of the stories that others carry with them. These stories inspire future generations to keep growing, learning, and helping others in turn. Your journey becomes a source of hope and guidance, a reminder that transformation is possible for anyone willing to take the first step.